Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got a pretty famous guy here. This is the Spyderco Para 3. As usual, we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this little guy. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison. Here's your PM2, as you can see, big brother right over here. This is your Benchmade 940-1. As you can see, very comparable handle, but look at the size of the blade. And this is up against ZT0562, another big boy over here. Of course, same family, Spyderco Para right there. Love this guy. And this is, of course, your Sebenza, large Sebenza 21, as you can see. This is your Spidey Chef. So again, another quite comparable handle, a little bit bigger than the PM3, but cutting edge, it's much more. So let's get started and analyze the design, how this guy looks when it's closed. Like the PM3, this is of course an evolution of that, and I cannot unsee this kind of frog bulging eye. I don't know. This is what I see. It's just, of course, like a super recognizable design. You can't mistake this one for another knife. The design is original and I like it. Overall, it grew up on me. At the beginning, I didn't really like this kind of look, but I learned how to appreciate this design. Like the PM2, this guy is like a compression lock. So basically you have a liner, like a steel liner over here, which has been cut and, bent, so upward. So this creates like a tension. So when you rotate the blade around this pivot, there's a notch and the liner is just gonna like fall in place right there between the stop pin and the tang of the blade, locking the blade in place. So pretty secure mechanism. It's like I would say the reverse of the Chris Reeve frame lock design. It's very similar, I mean, on principle, but it's on the other side. So it has some drawbacks and some advantages. This is made in US, as you can see right over here, Colorado. It has a pretty straightforward disassembly process because you've got 2 screws over here, like T10, T8 for the handle screws. And if you want to just remove the clip, you're going to need like a T6. But just mainly like 2 sets of bits if you want to disassemble and maintain your blade. So pretty straightforward, very interesting. The only thing you're gonna have to struggle a little bit, it's the lanyard tube over here, which is usually jammed in pretty tightly in your G10 scales, because these are titanium scales, so they're aftermarket. You can buy basically any kind of material for this knife. Being so popular, there's gonna be many options in like brass, copper, titanium, carbon fiber, pretty much, you name it. Overall, the design is very nice. I like this one. It's a compact knife. It's smaller. You have this lanyard tube, like, subtracting a little bit from the design, but I appreciate that in these scales, you only have one position for the clip, which is the one I prefer, like, tip up and not on the left side. So sorry, on the right side of the pocket, it's gonna be like this, and I appreciate that. But with the original scales, like the G10 ones, you can just decide to place this the pocket clip in all the 4 positions: tip up, tip down, left and right. So you're gonna be good to go, any preference you have. Liners on this one are full steel. They're not just partial. They're just extends up to the end to give like much, rigidity and solidity and an overall great like feel to the knife. So pretty good. I like, this line over here, these curved lines, they're pretty gentle and of course ergonomic. And this straight line up here with the bulge and the Spidey hole, I mean, it's a classic. This is like the PM3. You see this picture and boom, it's a PM3. Of course, this can be ambidextrous with the original scales, not with this one. And you see that these are nicely chamfered all around. So, I mean, these are premium scales. So, quite different from the original one, but very, very similar. Of course, the design is going to be the same. Remember that the disassembly of this guy voids the warranty, even if it's like pretty straightforward. You know, it's something that if you care about the warranty, you know, I would suggest not to do it. And usually they use red Loctite on the pivot, so you know, to prevent you know, you to be able to disassemble that. So you're gonna need like a heat gun and just to be able just to unscrew the pivot right there. The pivot is the pocket clip is nice, you know, has a nice ramp over here. It's a good tension, but we'll see that it's not like ideal, and that's why there are some nice deep carry options for this one. So if you open the blade, you're gonna see that this is a sprint run. So this is like your S35VN steel. It's not the regular S30V, so it's an improvement. But you know, basically the steel is different, but everything else is gonna be the same. Like the grind type, you know, it's full flat. As you can see, you know, the plunge grind. I really appreciate like the plunge grind extending up here. So, you know, it's a nice touch. I like it. I like this straight line up here with this nice and rounded, you know, curve up here. It's beautiful belly. Remember, there's no sharpening choil on this one. You've got this finger choil over here, you know, finger grooves, nice bottom over here, and just use, this is a nice curve over here. And I just love the thumb ramp over here. It's beautifully designed. The hardware is not protruding. As you can see, it's like full flat heads. So very nice to the touch. You have like, you know, your thock is pretty thin. I appreciate this one. Your tip is strong, but at the same time is thin. So very, very nice design on this blade. I like the fact that the edge, it's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty symmetric. So very good. There's some billboarding, of course, going on, especially in this blackened out blade. Like you have the logo, you know, the brand, the steel, factory, and other logos. So it's crowded. It's not like clean, but you know, it is what it is. So there's not much you can do. So I'm not a fan of this one, but it's just like this. The spine, as you can see, has no crowning. Over here, just a little bit of jimping going on over here. So overall, pretty clean and sleek look. Let's hear some noises. So this is when you open the knife. So it's very nice. I like this noise over here. It's different than the PM2, and the mechanism is the same, but probably because they use different materials, it's more pleasant. It's solid. It is a nice sound. Pleasant, yes. It's not scary. It's a little bit on the anonymous side. I mean, it's not like very distinctive like the PM2, but I like it. Something that, you know, on this one being DLC, the blade, you're gonna need like a break-in period in order to have like your sound like of the closing sound, you know, the blade just bouncing and hitting the stop pin. So in this case, it's not gonna, you know, yeah, it's gonna do a little bit of like that. So it's not gonna be like super loud, and you know, you have to make sure that you pinch this pretty hard because this is basically still has to break in. But yeah, as you can see, the sound it's pleasant. It's quiet, you know, it's unobtrusive, and I like it. It's very, very subtle, so it's very interesting. Let's analyze some feel of when you handle the knife, because it's one of the strengths of this blade. So I really love how they did like the thumb ramp and the finger choil here. So the jimping is similar. It's the same actually, and as you can see, your thumb, my thumb actually just, look at this, the profile, boom, it's just like designed for the human thumb. And this choil is just designed for the index. So you can just kind of pinch the blade like that, all right? And just secure it in your handle, and you're gonna have an extreme amount of precision with your blade. You can, like, choking up, it's gonna be, it's beautiful. And most importantly, if you choke up like this, you're gonna avoid the hotspot of the clip ramp. So if you hold it like this, as you can see, you have this, the tip of the clip right there, just digging into your finger. But if you move the finger up a little bit, this one, in my case, is just gonna fall like here, therefore disappearing in between my fingers and just having no effect, no hotspot for the precision work. If you do like, this kind of grip, yeah, you're gonna feel it, of course. Overall, the feeling is pretty smooth because there's no sharp edges. In these titanium scales, you have like all these edges, all these corners, like pretty well rounded. So it feels safe, it doesn't feel sharp. And the texture, of course, it's pretty smooth. Fit and finish are pretty spot on this one. There's no there's no rattle when you shake the knife. It's clip retention is pretty solid. So you have no maybe a little, not really blade play, but if you just strongly move, you're gonna feel a little bit. Not here, up and down, it's good. No lock rock. I mean, overall the feeling are pretty solid. But what I really love is like this thumb ramp and this finger choil. This guys is just, it feels like just perfectly in your hand. When you open the blade, you have like a few options. Like, of course, like you can pinch two hands and just deploy the blade like that. You can just do your thumb flick, or you can do your Spidey flick like that. So it's smooth. Even if it's running on washers, it's it has a decent speed in deployment. The detent strength, it's okay. It's pretty dialed in. I like it. Not too strong, not too light. Yeah, I appreciate that. Also, what I like is that you cannot touch the tip of the blade. It's pretty recessed down here, so very, very safe. This comes at a cost because you have this much of the handle which is just empty inside. You see, it doesn't really serve to anything except for holding, for leaving space for the lanyard tube right there, which serves also as a standoff. Okay, second standoff. So it's a double-edged sword, so to speak. Something that I'm not in love, and maybe because, again, this is still relatively new, is there's a little bit of lock stick, as you can hear. So just a little bit, it's nothing crazy. Probably with some Sharpie and some usage, it's gonna go away, but it's something that I thought to mention. And because especially when you close the blade, you're gonna have to maybe apply a little bit more strength into the compression lock to release the blade. But you have this pretty nice fall drop shot action, and the blade just falls like a guillotine like this, and even bounces back, hitting the stop pin on the right here on the when it hits the pin with the tang. So yeah, overall it's a nice action in closing position and also in the opening position. So very, very nice feeling overall, except for this little lock stick that I have. But it's pleasant. I mean, blade it's centered. The detent suction at the end is minimal. It's nothing like crazy. But I overall truly appreciate how They made the PM2 smaller, basically, and I appreciate the compact size of this one. It's a pretty perfect EDC carry. I would have preferred maybe a little bit more cutting edge, sorry, but overall I really appreciate this one. So there you have it. This was my review of the Spyderco PM3. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.